What do you bring to the table? Every high-value man desperately wants to know how he can properly assess his partner so he doesn't make a costly mistake. So is this phrase actually viable? When we're using the phrase, what do you bring to the table, we're using it because we want to suss out the person in front of us. We want to see what they're willing to contribute to our lives. We assume that when we're asking that question, we have everything we could possibly need. We're confident, we have our money together, our life is really, really good. So we ask someone what they could possibly add, and we think that it's a phrase that's coming from abundance. But when you actually think about the phrase, what do you bring to the table, it's coming from a place of lack. It's coming from a place of assuming that something is missing. Think of it like being invited to a Thanksgiving dinner. Your friends are hosting and you ask what you can bring, but they've already got everything covered. They've made the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the stuffing, the cranberries, the pumpkin, the plates. They've really got everything covered. They say, just bring yourself. They're not standing there going, what are you gonna bring to our already full table to make it better? They just want your presence. They acknowledge they already have everything they need, and all they want truly is your presence. Now you, being a genuine friend, are gonna feel compelled to bring something regardless, even though it's already extra. So if you're a man who's actually content with his life and everything that he's built, the question shouldn't be, what are you going to bring to my already full table, or how are you going to improve my life? The question should be, what kind of company do I want to invite to the table I've already made? Because those who have made huge Thanksgiving dinners don't make them to eat alone. If you are stuck on the idea that I need her to bring something to the table, we need to acknowledge that there's a hole or a void that we are trying to fill from a past trauma or resentment where somebody did us wrong, somebody took advantage of us, and we are subconsciously trying to get back at a past memory instead of making sure the table that we want to create is already full and keeping an eye on the company that we want to invite without forcing them to bring something to it. That being said, it can be really hard to determine what type of woman actually deserves to be at the table. So if you're stuck on this part, here are 3 actionable ways that you can start to assess a woman's value in your life. The first step is you have to determine what a valuable woman is to you. For some reason today, society is teaching us all that valuable means same, but you don't want same in a relationship, you want complementary. What is going to be valuable for you is what's going to balance you. For a high value man, this may mean she is calm when he is tussled up. She may be motivated when you're lazy. She may be peaceful when you're fired up. You may have differences, but you're ultimately going to feel in alignment. You'll be able to be in flow with each other. It won't be this aggressive back and forth. It won't be opposites attract, because opposites usually don't have the same core values. What you want is someone who's balancing, someone who's complementary to your specific needs and skill sets. The type of partnership I usually see work out in this scenario is where the man is more like the star and the woman is more like the support. So he's the dreamer, he's the one on stages, he's the one who's the front face of the business, and she does a lot of the back-end tasks. She organizes the meetings, she's the one who's more customer service oriented, she does a lot of the back-end work. Not because he's forcing her, not because they just have these strict rules that are masculine, feminine, but because they found complements of each other. This can also be opposite. She may be the star and he may be the guy who's running the show on the back end. Just find what complements you as a high-value man. She's going to know how to gauge your needs and vice versa. Find your complement, not your twin. Number 2, forget the accomplishments. Many women today feel that being high value for them is making a lot of money, being independent, being a boss, not realizing that that's not really what a man wants or needs in a relationship. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and not all women are trying to be successful to impress men, but a lot of women would desire to have a masculine partner, and they don't understand that men are not impressed by accomplishments. So when you ask the question, what are you bringing to the table? You're immediately inviting that masculine nature. You're immediately inviting her to become more aggressive with you because you're saying, show me your accomplishments, show me your hard work, show me your independence. If you want to invite a woman in who's truly feminine, who can really show you the value that she's going to bring to complement your life, you have to invite her feminine, not her masculine traits out. So don't ask questions that force her to push her accomplishments onto you. Also remember that when we ask questions, we invite opportunity for lies. It's not because people are trying to be manipulative or deceptive. It's just the general nature of we are trying to put our best foot forward. But people generally can't lie with their actions. They haven't trained themselves to do that. So if you, instead of asking her what she brings to the table, if you present the table as full already, see what she naturally brings. So embody your divine masculine energy. Take care of her as if you would take care of a wife and see how she shows up. If she continues showing up in an aggressive, masculine energy, or she shows up in a way that's ungrateful or takes advantage of you, you know exactly how she's going to show up. But if she starts to melt, if she starts to want to take care of you in this very receptive, reciprocal energy, then you know how she's going to show up and the type of value that she's bringing to you. And the third tip, and probably the most important, is rely on core values, not just on what you love or what you like. Love is a chemical bond that is piqued by momentary interest and desire, but eventually people change, situations change, everything changes. You make a promise, you make a covenant before God that you're gonna love this person through sickness and in health and through these changing scenarios, but you're not thinking about how this person will undeniably change after 5, 10, 15, 20 years together. So you're making a covenant to the person who's in front of you, not thinking about how they are going to change in the future and become a different person. So to avoid utter distress, chaos, heartache, divorce, loss of money, pay very close attention not to how beautiful they are, not to how sweet they are, not to how many promises they make to you in the beginning. Pay attention to what they value most, because people will inherently fall back on who they are, not the promises that they've made to someone else, not even the promises that they've made to God or the government. What are their habits? What do they find important? If you're very much into health and fitness and that's not really their thing, or they just started working out because you were working out, eventually, after 5, 10, 15 years, that weight is gonna start gaining on them, or that lifestyle creep is gonna start creeping, and you're gonna be upset and resentful and say, well, in the beginning they promised me this, or in the beginning they were like this. But you have to assess someone for who they truly are, not just how they show up in the beginning. If you can understand and assess your core values that you have, your 5 non-negotiables, maybe it's freedom, health and fitness, monetary knowledge, self-growth, whatever it is, understand what is in alignment with those things with the partner that you have. Because if they have those same values, then no matter what happens 5, 10, 15 years down the line, no matter what sicknesses or external changes happen in your environment, both of you are still going to be able to stick together, because you will still like that person fundamentally for who they are, because they're in alignment with the way that you're going in your life. We're always going to fall back on who we are, not who we love. So when you're trying to find a partner, make sure you think with the future in mind. And if you're still confused, maybe still a little bit angry or bitter, you want to be single for the rest of your life, that's okay. But remember, at the end of the day, you're just a guy. And women are just women. So inherently, no matter how much you do for yourself, you will still never be able to cultivate the pieces of that puzzle. It's a gift that only the opposite sex can bring you. So as much as you've brought to the table, what you'll never be able to bring is a woman's touch. She's gonna beautify the table, she's gonna bring the charger place, she's gonna put the little decorations on, the accoutrements. There's gonna be things that will benefit your life that money won't be able to buy, time won't be able to buy, and you won't be able to learn or cultivate yourself. So if you can keep these things in mind, you will undoubtedly attract a high-value woman without even having to ask the question, what do you bring to the table? As always, if you really resonated with this and you want a custom one-on-one coaching experience, click the link below to schedule a clarity call via my website, or comment below any other video ideas you want to see, and I will see you in the next video.